While the world is moving towards supercomputers, these super intelligent machines, is India not doing enough as much as it possibly can, not realizing its potential? And if not, then why not? Is this the moment where we need to reassess our strategy towards AI to ensure that we are at the cutting edge where the world is moving? That's the debate question. And we have a panel to address this question right away. Let me introduce you to them. Tonight on the show, we have joining us Sunil Goel, Managing Director at GlobalHunt. What do you say? The government is considering expanding this startup definition as well, and they want to allow pivots and deep tech risks. This is according to the information that we have, speaking to our sources, and perhaps it's going to get reflected in the budget as well. And this would happen on Sunday. But in practice, would you say that India's policy and our compliance frameworks are still punishing experimentation, still punishing innovation?
I look at it more positively. I say that, India is looking at the way it's launched its, Chandrayaan at less than a Hollywood movie cost. So we are trying to innovate our way of doing the work. See, today in AI, you have multiple layers. Each layer has its own ways to contribute to the whole AI system. And AI is a raw material, a very intelligent raw material, which has to be used by the industry or a function in specific areas. So today, if you look at, so every large company, large countries, those who have very deep pockets, they are focusing on the compute powers. It means they're just trying to build the compute infrastructure, but very less focused on application and the data layers or the governance layer. So that's where we, I think, as a country coming up into the picture, we say that, okay, fine, you build the whole compute power systems with the huge infrastructures and so on. We can have an environment where a lot of shared services compute power can work. Like today you have a cloud services which works on the shared environment. So we'll have an AI infrastructure which can help a lot of large, and mid and small kind of, companies to innovate their applications areas, top of the data layers and the industry specific requirements. So we look at it's innovations within the innovations in our country, right? So we say that, okay, how can I solve a healthcare problem? How can I solve a retail problem? How can I solve a banking problem? How I can solve the manufacturing problems? So that's where this application layer, which can be worked with the very minimum infrastructure, which can work with the very low investments and very super specialized job it is. So that's where I see that AI can create a magic for our country, and we can be a value for the whole world, where we'll go and solve the real-time problem on the ground, rather than simply saying that, okay, I have the largest, infrastructure. So tomorrow technology innovates and says that we do not need so much of GPU power or electricity to consumed by the AI infrastructure. Then what will happen to this infrastructure? And we all had witnessed the day DeepSeek was launched, and suddenly we had a huge slash in the US market for NVIDIA and other companies when they were not able to sustain their stock price because there was some other way of doing the AI had come up with a very low cost. So I think that India is well positioned with its resources and the people, what we have it in our country, a lot of STEM graduates, companies within that market. So for us, this is a step ahead. So I look at it more very, very positively. It's not a cost cutting or something, but it's like the
yes, but we're talking about potential over here. And at a certain point in time, I was looking at manufacturing data that's coming through, and our potential over there has always been higher than what we've been able to do. So to not be able to miss out when this race is concerned in AI, do we need to aim higher? This frugal AI model, because of lack of infrastructure or because where we are right now in the entire ecosystem, will our services sector be actually feeding into big tech? Sunil Goel, this economic survey is recommending pacing of AI adoption to avoid labor displacement of any kind, because that's an important piece for us. Employment is an issue. So is this pragmatic policy making in your opinion, or do you think this is a dangerous slowdown in what is clearly a fast moving global race?
See, I believe that you cannot ignore technology by saying that, oh, I want to save this job because this is going to replace it. Rather, we can skill our people, we can upgrade it, we can look at the new avenues where, what are the interventions like technology can do it and what are the interventions human can do it. From a policy perspective, I believe that controlling it like from a governance and, like a regulatory perspective, like you have a lot of deep fake, which is a part of the AI, which gets used and, which can have any repercussions, further to it. Those areas are important to have a policies of misutilization of the AI. But the right utilization, I think we should go ahead further and penetrate it further. I see in India a reform in the judiciary systems, AI can do wonders, right? I mean, it can set the example for the world where we become a true examples in terms of how do we reform our judiciary system by using the AI and then putting it across to them. The similar way, if you go and look at today healthcare, even if you look at manufacturing, if you look at e-commerce, a lot of those areas which we have been the hub for the whole, global markets, companies are coming to our country to have the resources. So we can upgrade our resource to how to, use the AI to increase their productivity, how we can become more effective for the world in terms of services or product or innovations. This is also sometimes it's get a little generalized by saying that we do not innovate, we do innovate, but we remain cautious and we kind of, wait and watch, like if you have a limited, fund to invest in a certain areas, how much you can take an open risk, you can take a calculated risk, or you'll kind of wait everyone else to do it and then you'll try, start doing it. So that can have a different propositions, but
Yes.
yeah, I believe that we are well positioned to work a lot on application layers, data layers, and model development.
Yes.
Other than compute power, rest all is in our control.
But the point is that
we
we can't just be well positioned. We have to make the move right now. That's the real ask. Effective for the world, yes, we proved that. But here's where an Elon Musk. Now, whether that proves to be strategic foresight or is it going to be cautious restraint is going to depend on what Budget 2026 is going to deliver. We're going to be watching out for that. Whether they speak on capital towards AI, compute, talent, the policy follow through, all of that is going to be very closely watched. So thank you, my great panel, for joining us with your perspective. Sunil Goel, thank you for those sharp and deep perspectives.